Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Secretary Yellen, thank you for testifying today. During our discussion when you were here last before the committee, the Basel Endgame proposal had not been officially proposed by the banking regulators. And since then, over the past 6 months, there's been a robust response to the overwhelming negative consequences of the proposal. I'm concerned that the Basel Endgame will undermine many of the steps taken by Congress to strengthen the financial system and support the economy. One example I have focused on is the impact on derivative end users. Back in 2010, I sat on the Dodd-Frank Conference Committee, where there was bipartisan support to not disadvantage end users, like farmers, ranchers, small businesses. This has a long history of broad bipartisan support. Unfortunately, both of the proposals from the Federal Reserve will drive up the cost of hedging for end users and undermine the long-standing work done by Congress and this committee. And this is just one example of how the Fed's proposal moves us in the wrong direction. Secretary Yellen, at some point in the months ahead, the banking regulators will vote on a final rule. When we last discussed Basel Endgame, you said that Treasury would have the opportunity to provide feedback on this proposal. Given Treasury's mission, which is to maintain a strong economy and promote economic growth, has Treasury provided feedback to the Fed, number one, and number two, are you confident that the proposal will not undermine the resilience of the U.S. capital markets that are so critical to the economy?
So I'm not aware that Treasury has provided any formal feedback to the Fed on the Basel regulations. As you know, they've received many comments expressing concern about a number of different proposals that were embodied in the Basel III package. And I know that all of the banking agencies that publish that are considering how to respond to those comments and concerns in trying to craft a final rule.
Well, are you concerned that the proposal will undermine the resilience of the U.S. capital markets?
I'm not going to take a position on the details of the rule. I would just say again that I believe that there should be strong capital and liquidity standards to ensure that these institutions operate in a safe and sound manner. But it's up to the banking agencies to evaluate the specifics.
So it's fair to say that whatever concerns might be at Treasury don't rise to the point of providing feedback. Okay. Another aspect of the Basel Endgame is the impact on the U.S. Treasury market. Consumers, businesses, governments, the global financial system depend on a well-functioning U.S. Treasury market. And of course, a healthy market for U.S. Treasuries is essential for U.S. government operations. However, the proposal from the Fed could cause banks to pull back from the market-making activities in the Treasury's future markets, which would raise costs for market participants. At the same time, just this past December, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, finalized a rule that would increase central clearing for Treasury markets along with other reforms. So you have the increased cost coming from the Federal Reserve, you have the significant market structure reforms coming from the Securities and Exchange Commission, all impacting U.S. Treasury market at the same time. I just worry that this could create a huge problem. So, Secretary Yellen, how have you engaged with the SEC and the Fed to evaluate the cumulative impact of the proposals, and how can we be sure that there will be no significant market disruptions? Turbulence may be about a better word for it.
Well, we've formed an interagency working group that includes all of those agencies and Treasury and the New York Fed to focus on the resilience and operation of the Treasury market. It's critically important to us that the Treasury market is well-functioning, deep, liquid, and can enable the dollar to be the most secure asset of any in the world. And they are looking at specifics, including improved disclosure. They have taken the view that increased central clearing can make the Treasury market more resilient, and they're considering many factors.
The gentleman's time